Thanks for tuning in to another episode of King Mighty King Mini TV, and I'm your host, the Double OG Grill Boxing, Ted King. Today, we're going to be talking about the two combatants that are in the super welterweight division. That would be the junior middleweight division. We're talking about Tszyu versus Vergil Ortiz. This fight is a non-title fight. However, it has some implications for a world championship identification. Now, and that this is going to somehow be some type of a title fight that we haven't heard about. However, there is some reports that the WBO will be taking the WBO belt from Sebastian Fundora. Now this is reports. I haven't at this particular time of this video have not confirmed this. However, there are reports that the WBO will be taking their as a sanctioning body is going to be taking their WBO belt from Sebastian Fundora. Now, if you remember, after the Tszyu versus Fundora fight, Fundora turned and said to Tszyu, "This is yours," meaning the WBO belt. He said emphatically that, "No, I want you to have it." So there was some very quizzical things going on at that particular point. I thought that, hey, you know what, this is kind of different. In fact, Tszyu's girlfriend had to insist that he, in fact, take the belt because Fundora wanted him to have it. So maybe there were some things going on that we don't know. However, this is just reports. But going into the fight, we have to say that this particular fight could be a fight for a championship. In fact, it's not necessarily been sanctioned that it is, but the fact of the matter that these two highly acclaimed junior middleweight fighters are definite contenders for that title as a champion. In fact, we know that Tszyu, in fact, was the champion as a WBO champion, and he was fighting Fundora for the WBO as well as the WBC. Update: look like these two will be fighting for the interim WBA junior middleweight championship belt. Of course, circumstances didn't favor Tszyu that particular night. However, moving into this fight, what we have fire, okay? This fight here is going to be fire, okay? Because both of these guys, Tszyu and Vergil Ortiz, are very formidable fighters. These guys are at the top of their game in terms of abilities and, in fact, youth, fighting at the right time, etc. So, matter of fact, this fight right here, we can't necessarily view the winner as anything other than them running it back. Okay, this fight right here, these two guys can meet a couple of times. This could be a trilogy in the making, depending on what happens in the fight August the 3rd. Now, when we look at the fighters, Tszyu, of course, in my mind, Tszyu is a very, very intelligent fighter. He is very, very intelligent. He doesn't necessarily set up his offense with his jab. He, in fact, uses the right hand quite extensively. However, he uses his jab to get in range to use his right hand. He does some tricky things in there as well. So I give Tszyu a very high IQ when it comes to fighting. I took a good look at Tszyu, did a video on Tszyu. As a matter of fact, you can go down into the descriptions and find it where I did a video on Tszyu. Tszyu is an excellent fighter. And in fact, I had him beating Fundora before the fight took place. Now, If it wasn't for that clash of elbow and top of Tszyu's head, I'm sure, in my mind, Tszyu would have beat Fedor because he had, in the first round, busting Sebastian Fedor up by breaking his nose. Then, of course, circumstances happened where he, again, elbow, top of his head, caused a gash in his head, and he was bleeding profusely. Surprised that the fight wasn't stopped, but it wasn't. So Tszyu absolutely is one of the top fighters in the junior middleweight division. Now, Ortiz, he's absolutely fantastic in and of himself, okay? The man has his own platform. In fact, he's on a level, as well as he's as good as anybody fighting today. However, he has had some health issues when trying to make the 147 pounds. When he was in the 147-pound division, he was having some issues with weight loss. Okay, that weight loss causes some other side effects that caused him to be out for a while. So he hasn't been quite as active as Tszyu has. And so that is one of the things that we have to take a look at in terms of how this fight would play itself out. Because Tszyu has been active. This man breathes, sleeps, eats boxing, okay? This man right here is a warrior. As a matter of fact, he proved that when he fought Fedor with all that blood just coming out of the top of his head. And of course, he never backed down and proceeded to continue to try to make the fight. In fact, to try to win the fight. He never backed down, never gave up. And he said himself that he would die before he would die in the ring. You need to understand that Tszyu is definitely a warrior. He comes to fight. He's not going to take a step backwards. He says he'll fight anybody. He's proven thus far that that's exactly what he'll do. So Vergil Ortiz has his hands full because he's going to be fighting a warrior. He's not going to be fighting someone who's going to lay down. He's going to be fighting a dog in there. So the fact that Ortiz has been having these layoffs could be a factor in the fight, because Ortiz, in my mind, has a much better jab. Okay, his technique is arguably as good as far as going to the body and going to using his right hand. But I think, in my mind, he has a better left hand. Okay, he has a better left hand in terms of going to the body and, of course, hooking off of the jab. So he's been schooled very well. And the only thing that, again, as I said before, that we have to take a look at is the fact that Ortiz has not been as active as Tszyu. Tszyu, again, as soon as that fight was over with Fedor, trust and believe he may have taken a little rest, right? A little relaxation. I believe he went to Hawaii. And then he's, I'm sure, back in the gym, because his downtime is recuperative time, recuperation time. It's not like I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going off somewhere and relax and enjoy for a year or two. No, this young man is living, sleeping, eating, all these intangibles, what it takes to be a top-notch fighter, throwback in the throwback era. That's what he's doing. So Tszyu, that's the one thing about in terms of the blueprint on how to beat Tszyu. How can you come up with that type of blueprint when this man is living boxing? Okay, so that's what he has in front of him. That's what Ortiz has in front of him. It's going to be a very, very interesting fight. This fight will not disappoint. These two guys are going to bring it. I mean, they have to. Okay, Tszyu is going to make you have to fight, and of course, Vergil Ortiz is going to do the exact same thing. So, make no mistake about it. This is going to be a fire fight. Okay, August the 3rd, 2024, in Los Angeles, California. It's the whole the whole card is lit. And I can't wait to do a rundown and predictions on the card, on these cards, okay? This card on August the 3rd, I cannot wait because all the fights, I mean, the whole card is going to be extremely phenomenal, okay? The whole event is going to be great. So looking forward to doing that. But now back to this. I believe, okay, I believe this may be the fight of the night. Okay, this fight right here might be the fight. We have it's a tremendous card, but all the fights, this one is going to be fire. This is Dead King at Double OG Grill Boxing. Until the next one, keep your hands up.